So here we are on the trailhead. We got up early this morning around what time?
6 a.m.
Got up at 6 a.m. and now we're walking on the trail and we're going to Mount Colden, which I just showed you, which is 2.1 miles to here. And
look at the elevation change. 1,913 foot gain. That means the temperature will drop by 4 degrees at the top compared to now.
So now we've hiked to the opposite side of Lake Colden, the one that we're gonna camp on tonight. And some of these mountains are so tall you cannot even see them up in the clouds right there. But here's the ridge. And I'm gonna show you where we're gonna camp tonight. Kim is pointing straight at it and I'm gonna try to zoom in. And that's as close as I can get, but it's directly across, right to the left of that bumpy peak there. The part that goes down on the left, our lean-to is right down there on the water. So we're probably about a third of the way up Mount Colden. We're thinking, oh, here we go. Here's our elevation right now. Can you guys read that? 3,500 feet. And I just got cell service. I just got a text from my aunt. So it's our first cell service we've had the whole time we've been here in the high peaks. And I'm showing you a little waterfall that was caused by yesterday's rain. And if you remember yesterday, we were down on Avalanche Lake looking up and we could see the waterfalls coming off Lake Colden. So here's one of them, up close where it starts.
Well, kids, here we are hiking up Mount Colden, and we have quite the staircase. Not quite the ladder to heaven, but here's Miss Amy. And you can see her climbing those steps. And we're making our way to the top.
So we're still climbing the hill, but just wanted to show you a cute little waterfall here. Isn't that sweet? It's still the rainwater from yesterday coming down the hill. We're still climbing up. Just a quick video to show you, this is where the trail goes, right up this rock, right here, up to there. No ladder here. Here's a place where that rainwater's coming down and it's formed a little foam where it's caught, and the foam's going in a circle. Here is our first real view of the High Peaks area. We're not at the top yet of Mount Colden, but look at this. There they are, mountains, mountains everywhere you look. Here's a view of some lakes down at the bottom. Now we have to climb up. Hi Kim, where are we going? Which way?
Mount Colden, this way.
Okay, you mean we're climbing these rocks?
No, we're going through the middle of these massive boulders.
All right, I'm gonna try to walk with the camera without killing myself so the kids can get a little idea of how pretty this is. You
Sun just came out.
Oh, beautiful.
That's a flat snack rock.
That is a great place for a snack. So the lake way down on the bottom there is Henderson Lake, and that is where we first started our hike 2 days ago. Here's the surrounding mountains. Nice little panorama here. And now to the top. We're almost to the summit, but I just don't know if we'll get a view. But if you look down in there, there's a little inlet bay thing to the left. It looks like a finger on the left and then maybe a little humped hat. That's where a lean-to is, in that little humped hat section. Here's a lime green lichen on the top of the rocks. Want to see what's on the other side? Ooh, look at that. So I'm top of Mount Colden, looking down, down, down. And if you look at the very bottom, you will see a little body of water. It's just a little piece of Avalanche Lake that we were walking on yesterday. And if you look really carefully, you will see a boardwalk that we were walking on right on the edge of the cliff. And this is the cliff that was above us yesterday that we were walking along. I'm just going to show you our lunch spot. If you can see over there, the cloud is actually touching the top of the mountain. We're up pretty high. What was the elevation? Do you guys remember? Do you remember, Kim? 19 something?
Our gain was 1,950 feet, but I have to look at the map to know the elevation that we're sitting.
Here's a map.
We're at the top of Mount Colden, which is at 4,714 feet. We just climbed up this trail, which was 1,950 foot elevation gain, and we're looking out this direction. Avalanche Lake is where we were yesterday with those steep rock walls, and Avalanche Mountain just on the other side of that, which is lower at 3,000 and change. And then Algonquin Peak is where we're going tomorrow, which is 5,114 feet, which is 400 feet higher. Boundary Peak is just south of it, and that's Algonquin, straight out there, and the Boundary Peaks follow the ridge.
So Algonquin was the one the cloud was touching, and now the cloud's lifted from it.
And Iroquois. Boundary Peak and then Iroquois is on that
Boundary with the rocks on it. Algonquin
I think.
and Iroquois, we think.
Yeah, Iroquois is the furthest one.
So we're doing Algonquin tomorrow, climbing that peak.
That looks longer than 0.3 miles.
I was trying to catch a picture for you guys of that little bird that landed right in the tree on the top of the hill. And this big mountain over there with the rocks on top, pretty sure that's Mount Marcy, which would be the tallest high peak in New York State.
Decided to hang out here. But I think we've arrived. I don't see.
So here's the other side of Colden, and we just walked down that, and we're now on a different little mountain right now. So we just got down to the bottom of Colden Mountain. Mount Colden? What is it? Mount Colden. Mount Colden. And this is what we found. The sun is out, the blue sky is out, all the clouds we saw before are gone. Absolutely gorgeous.
Well, this is a waterfall off the side of our trail back towards Marcy Dam, and it's beautiful.
So we came down Colden Mountain, and then we walked down one of the longer ways so we could see Avalanche Pass that we're really excited about. And we just walked through it, and it was pretty, but not nearly as pretty as this, which is Avalanche Lake that we were at yesterday. But yesterday it was raining and misty, and today it's absolutely beautiful, and now we're even getting reflections off the water. And I'm going to show you the cliff on the other side. That yesterday this cliff had tons of waterfalls coming down it, and you could still see where it's wet. But there's no waterfalls because it stopped raining. And I'll show you the cliff on the other side to really hold it up high to get that. And I still have Kim with me. Kim.
Hi.
Hi everyone. I hope you enjoyed the adventures I've shared about my backpacking trip with my friend Kim. We saw a lot of beautiful sights in a 5-day period, and I'm so thankful for the opportunity to explore God's creation over that period of time. The videos I shared took place over a 3-day period of our backpacking trip. My camera battery died though after the last video that I showed you Avalanche Lake with the clouds reflecting on it. So I will describe to you what happened next. Do you remember how rainy it was in part 2 of the video where we were walking along the boardwalk at Avalanche Lake the first time? The day we climbed Mount Holden, the sun came out and the rocks along the trail dried out, which made the hike a lot easier along the lake on the way back to our lean-to. I was thinking about this and I called ahead to Kim to tell her how nice it was to hike on dry rocks instead of wet rocks. Just as I said this, my foot slipped off from a 4-foot high boulder I was standing on. I lost my balance and I fell to my left side onto another pointed rock down in a crevice. At first, I was falling head first, but fortunately, God helped me to shift my body so that I landed on my ribs instead of my head. I felt like an angel had intervened. If I hit my head, I could have been knocked out or got a concussion, and Kim wouldn't have been able to get help for a long time. We still had to walk another hour to get back to the lean-to, and we couldn't get cell service even if my phone battery hadn't died. I was thankful that I only bruised my ribs and I was able to walk back slowly to the lean-to. Sometimes the best made plans don't turn out the way that we had envisioned them. When we were on top of Mount Holden the day before, I mentioned to you that we were going to plan on hiking Algonquin the next day, and I even showed you a video of the mountain. Now our plans were completely up in the air depending on how my rib injury went. I was able to get some sleep that night on my Thermarest mattress in the lean-to, as long as I didn't roll over on my left side. But in the morning when I got up, I knew that I wasn't going to be able to climb the steepy rock trail up Algonquin that we had planned. But I did feel good enough to hike on a more gradual trail. That day we walked along the opalescent river and I took our time enjoying the waterfalls along the way. At the top of the hill we ate lunch at Lake Tear of the Clouds before heading back down. It's near the base of Mount Marcy and it's the highest pond in New York State. I appreciated Kim's flexibility in our hiking plans. The next day we packed up and backpacked out 4.5 hours to the car. I thanked God that I had the strength to walk that long distance and that Kim carried a heavy pack to make my load easier. I was even able to drive the car back to another 5 hours to Ithaca without being in too much pain. The theme this summer has been the wonders of God's world. How many wonders of God's world do you remember learning about this summer? Do you remember learning about animal tracks, calves, horses, birds, trees, insects, stars and planets, things on a farm, food that grows on a farm, pets, water, and mountains? We sure have learned about some wonderful things that God has created. In addition to all these things we can see in creation, God has many other wonders in this world that we might not notice so easily. When I hurt my ribs, I was reminded of how God made me with a rib cage to protect all my vital organs that I need to keep me alive every day. Every time I cough or laugh or move a funny way, I am thankful that God sent an angel to protect me from getting more seriously hurt. I am also thankful for my friend Kim for her loving concern for me and her willingness to put aside our plans and show flexibility and patience. God's wonders are all around us in this world. Remember to thank God each time you notice something special in this world. Next week, we will be starting a new fall theme. Do you know what a prophet is? I hope you can join us and learn some lessons from the prophets. See you next week.